Hey guys, I got a question today from a startup founder that is trying to start a business right now in the midst of all this craziness, which I absolutely admire because I too started up in the middle of 2008, 2009 recession, which we call the Great Recession, right? So I totally get it and I admire you for doing it, but the question is, what can I do right now to market my startup? And obviously putting it off for a hold is definitely not an option. And I didn't even know what was going on in the world. I was just focused on my startup so much that I almost ignored everything that happened at the time, right? I had no idea. And I look back and I said, man, I can't believe how crazy I was, right? Like I was literally, I was just being ignorant. And I get it, because if you were to focus on all the things that is happening around you, you're not going to do anything. And that's definitely not a solution. That is not what you should be doing. But to get back to the question of what should you do as a startup? How do you market it right now? The best answer that I can give you is, well, a lot of startups and very tiny companies would go and try to do things for free. Like, let me just post on social media and see if somebody would bite and if someone's interested. And they might try to do that for year one and year two and year three, and they're not getting any traction. And that's what I don't want you to do, right? What I do want you to do is focus your attention on sort of like micro wins. What do I mean by that? What I mean is that don't spend $10,000 or your $20,000 of little bit of money you have saved up to go build a website. That is not going to get you any leads, because you don't even know if there is a problem that you can help fix, right? You don't really even know who is that perfect audience for you. Instead, build a video sales letter. Throw that out there and spend $100 on Facebook ads and see if there's people actually engaging with that ad. Are there people engaging with the message? And do you think there's a potential of maybe they becoming a customer, whether it's today or tomorrow or next week? Get on as many phone calls as possible and learn what the actual challenges of your market is and try to work on solving for that. So I would say, instead of building a big website, build a one-page landing page that really speaks to that one type of audience that you're trying to sell to. Throw a video on it and try to advertise on things like Facebook right now, or Instagram, or video ad, a carousel ad, something that is really quick to get it out and does not cost you $10,000 to get an answer, all right? And instead of saying, like a lot of people, my audience isn't on LinkedIn, my audience are not on Snapchat or whatever. Instead of saying that and just sort of coming to a conclusion on your own without doing any testing or any data gathering, I would say put any and all money that you have on all those platforms and see what's actually yielding the result. Don't ever come to a conclusion without data, right? And I understand that it's like gut feeling, you feel like you have 100% sure that they're not going to be on it without trying. Most of the time when I say that too, when we try, we're like, wow, boy, was I wrong. And I would rather you not make that mistake early on in your business, because you could be missing out on huge opportunities. So tip number one, don't spend a bunch of money on things that you're gonna have to throw away because you don't even know what your messaging is right now. You don't know what you solve yet. Spend as few dollars on trying to get people to hear about you. Can you help address a certain pain, an issue? Can you get on a call and hash out what your value is? When they have a lot of time on their hands, a good time to ask them for an extra 10 minutes of their time, because they'll be more than glad to give it to you. But come 6 months from now, they may not have any time, right? You really got to nail your messaging. You really got to nail your value ladder, your value offering. So just a real quick idea of not spend a bunch of money that you can't recover. Spend it on as few platforms as possible, testing it and not throwing away ideas right now. All ideas are equally important. Figure it out and make it work. That's what I did when I was going through this 15 years ago. And not just that, today you have to know that more than ever, minimum viable product is the way to go. Okay, so to this day, I practice this model for our internal systems and softwares, everything that we build. I just want to see the most basic version of this thing that I have going on. I don't need all the bells and whistles right now. Just the most basic overnight version, right? Like, what can you hack together to show me something tomorrow is all I'm looking for. So if you're practicing perfection, I need you to stop. Like, literally, don't practice perfection. I want you to practice progress. What can I add to my marketing messaging, my campaign, my funnel, whatever you're doing? How can I make that just 1% better? Okay? And not, how do I revamp this? I need all this new copy. Well, I need like 5-step email nurture campaign. And you're just creating more work for yourself. They may not ever even opt in for them to get email number 17, right? You add more emails as people are getting closer to that number. You know, you want to hear a great story? Basecamp, I'll never forget this story. Basecamp, project management software you may or may not have heard of. When they created the first version of Basecamp and they put it out there, they advertised, people were signing up, and they did not have a billing module. They did not have something to actually have them enter their credit card. And you know, for me, I would say, look, man, if I don't have a way to get the money, let's not go live. But guess what? Those guys did. Instead of worrying about that, they said, look, we got 30 days to figure this thing out, because their billing is going to be 30 days from now, right? It's free 30 days or whatever. So they hacked together a billing module even after having customers on the platform. Now that's ballsy. If you could think about what that is for your business, it's like pre-selling even before you build it. That's what I would do as a startup. I would sell the product as if it exists and then go freaking make it after they made the purchase order, right? That would be the best advice, is figuring out what can you produce right now as small as possible with as little resources as possible with a half of an engineer that you can get to market and test with $100 increments on Facebook ads and figure out if there's a market for your product, right? What can you do differently? And if you can win at $100, you could easily win at 10,000 and 100,000. All right, that would be my advice, and not to just throw away ideas. Every idea, I tell that to my new employees that give me all these ideas. I'm like, look, every idea counts. I'm not gonna discount your idea. I want you to give me as many ideas as you humanly possible can, and I will take every single idea into consideration. We're gonna run all of these experiments and figure out what you work. And guess what? You wanna run some of those ideas and run with it? Go ahead. Right here is the okay. Go run with it and tell me what happens. Because I love when people take initiative and they run with their idea. They feel great because that's their idea. And I want them to come back with success or it didn't work out. It's okay if it didn't work out. But the fact of the matter is we tried and we didn't just come to the conclusion that it's a bad idea. All right, there's no bad idea. You never know what might work, especially in times like this. So I hope you got a quick little nugget out of this. If you're starting a startup, couldn't be happier for you. You might actually end up getting, a head start than several people out there that are putting this off until God knows when. Okay? Thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you next time.